Out in the middle of the ocean, there's no land, no signal, and no escape. You think the sharks are the real threat, until you realize the most dangerous thing isn't in the water, it's on the boat. The story opens on the bright coast of Australia, where a group of foreign tourists are traveling together. Among them is a young woman named Hyder, who has come to explore the country with her boyfriend and a larger tour group. They're relaxed, carefree, and treating the trip like a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. However, one morning, everything goes wrong in the simplest way possible. Hyder and her boyfriend oversleep. When they finally wake up and rush outside, the group is already gone. The tour bus has left without them. At first, panic sets in, but only briefly. Instead of chasing the group or calling for help, the couple decides to make the best of the situation. With no strict schedule holding them back anymore, they choose to explore the nearby coastline on their own. While walking along the shore, they notice posters and signs advertising an extreme ocean activity, a shark cage experience, where tourists are locked inside a metal cage and lowered deep into the ocean to observe sharks from an extremely close distance. The danger excites them. They see it as the perfect story to take back home. They ask around and learn that the experience is run by a man named Tucker, and the activity itself is branded as the Tucker Experience. When they arrive at the dot, Tucker is nowhere to be seen. One of the workers there informs them that Tucker has taken a few days off and is not running trips right now. Disappointed, the couple prepares to leave. That's when Tucker himself suddenly appears. Tucker is charismatic, loud, and filled with energy. He immediately takes control of the conversation, assuring them that he would never turn away paying customers. He promises that he will personally take them out and give them an experience they will never forget. His confidence is convincing, and the couple agrees without hesitation. Once they are out at sea, Tucker begins telling his story. He explains that as a child, he survived a brutal shark attack. He lifts his shirt and shows deep scars across his body, scars that are impossible to fake. Instead of fear, his eyes reflect pride. He explains that surviving the attack changed his life forever. According to him, that day created a strange and unbreakable bond between him and sharks. Hyder listens carefully and expresses sympathy. She tells him that surviving something like that must have been terrifying, and that working around sharks afterward sounds unimaginable. She says that if it were anyone else, they would never even look at the ocean again. Tucker responds calmly, almost defensively. He insists that sharks are not evil, not monsters. He claims that sharks only react to fear, and that humans are the real destroyers. To begin the experience, Tucker pours blood into the ocean. Almost instantly, dark shapes start moving beneath the water. Sharks begin circling the boat. The couple is locked inside a heavy metal cage and slowly lowered into the sea. Surrounded by massive sharks, their fear mixes with excitement. As the sharks move closer, they realize something important. As long as they stay calm and don't panic, the sharks don't attack. The experience is terrifying, but it works exactly as Tucker described. Eventually, the cage is lifted back onto the boat. The couple is laughing, relieved, and thrilled. They thank Tucker repeatedly, believing they have just survived something extraordinary. They prepare to leave, completely unaware that the real danger has not even begun yet. Without warning, Tucker pulls out a knife and slashes Hyder's boyfriend's throat. Blood sprays instantly. Before Hyder can even process what is happening, Tucker throws the dying man into the ocean. The sharks immediately attack, tearing his body apart. Hyder screams at the top of her lungs, begging for help, but they are alone in the middle of the sea. No one can hear her. Tucker slowly turns toward Hyder, a twisted smile on his face. His friendly mask is gone. What happens to Hyder at that moment is not shown. The screen cuts away, leaving her fate unanswered. For now. The story then shifts to a completely different character and setting. We meet Zephyr, an American woman who lives alone in a camper van. She survives on her own terms, moving from beach to beach, spending her days surfing. Zephyr avoids emotional attachment. She prefers isolation, silence, and freedom. The ocean is her only constant. After an intense surfing session, Zephyr stops at a gas station. There, she meets a young man whose car is broken down. He asks for help, but Zephyr hesitates. She doesn't like strangers and avoids getting involved with people. The man keeps insisting, and eventually, she agrees to give him a lift. During the drive, they talk. Slowly, a connection forms. Both share a deep love for surfing in the ocean. They laugh, exchange stories, and by the time they reach his house, they don't want the moment to end. They spend time together inside Zephyr's van, parked outside his home. The connection feels genuine. By morning, the man becomes serious. He tells Zephyr that he believes they met for a reason, and suggests they stay together. Zephyr freezes. Commitment scares her. She refuses. While the man goes inside to cook food, Zephyr quietly drives away, leaving without saying goodbye. She heads straight to the beach to surf again, but realizes her surfboard fins are missing. Searching nearby, she looks inside a parked truck, which belongs to Tucker. Tucker appears from behind and offers her the fins. During their conversation, he subtly asks personal questions, especially whether she is alone. Zephyr avoids answering clearly. Tucker becomes irritated and leaves. Moments later, Zephyr receives a message from the man she left behind, asking to meet again. She wants to say yes, but suppresses her emotions and refuses. That single decision becomes her biggest mistake. Tucker attacks Zephyr from behind, knocks her unconscious, and kidnaps her. When Zephyr regains consciousness, she finds herself locked inside a small room beneath the boat. Her mouth is gagged. Her hands are chained to a bed. On the bed next to her lies Hyder, alive but completely broken. Hyder explains that screaming is useless. No one can hear them. As Zephyr looks around, she notices names scratched into the wall, names of girls who were trapped here before her. Slowly, reality sinks in. This place is not an accident. It is a prison. Above deck, Tucker fishes calmly, as if nothing is wrong. From the suffocating darkness beneath Tucker's boat, where Zephyr is still chained to the bed, trying to control her breathing. Beside her lies Hyder, motionless, staring at the ceiling, as if her soul has already left her body. Zephyr keeps whispering, asking questions, trying to understand what kind of man Tucker really is. Hyder slowly turns her head and explains that she has already tried everything, screaming, fighting, begging, even hoping someone would pass by. Nothing worked. Out here, in the middle of the ocean, they are completely invisible. Zephyr begins examining the room carefully. Every movement hurts because the chains are tight, but her eyes refuse to stop searching. That's when she notices something strange on the wall opposite the bed. Names. Women's names. Some scratched deeply, some barely visible, some partly painted over. For a moment, Zephyr freezes. She understands instantly what this means. This room has held many girls before them. Each name represents someone who once believed she might escape and didn't. Above them, the sound of water splashing echoes softly. Tucker is on deck, calmly fishing, humming to himself as if this is just another normal day. The contrast is horrifying. Below deck, fear and death wait. Above deck, peace. Zephyr asks Hyder if anyone will come looking for her. Hyder answers honestly. Her boyfriend was the only one. He came with her. And whatever Tucker did to him, it was final. Hearing this, Zephyr already knows the truth. Tucker didn't just kill him. He fed him to the sharks. When Hyder asks Zephyr the same question, Zephyr hesitates. She says someone could have looked for her, but now probably won't. Still, far away on land, the man Zephyr left behind cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. Back on shore, Zephyr's van sits abandoned. The man finds it strange. This van is her home. Why would she leave it behind? His worry grows stronger. He starts asking around, retracing her steps, and finally goes to the police to report her missing. At the same time, his instincts push him to search on his own. Down below, night passes slowly. Zephyr keeps struggling until her arms feel numb. At one point, she notices something unusual in Hyder's clothing, a thin metal wire hidden inside the fabric. A spark of hope appears. This wire could be used to pick the handcuffs. Zephyr carefully pulls it out and begins working on the lock. Before she can finish, footsteps approach. Tucker opens the door and enters the room with bread and water. The air is hot and suffocating. Hyder, dehydrated and weak, immediately drinks the water. Zephyr notices how Tucker watches them closely. Hyder pulls a blanket over herself, trying to hide the wire. Tucker grows suspicious and steps forward, but Zephyr distracts him, demanding food and pretending to be desperate. She drinks the water too, unaware that Tucker has mixed a sedative into it. Moments after Tucker leaves, Zephyr's vision starts to blur. Her head feels heavy. She tries to fight it, but it's too late. Both women lose consciousness. When Zephyr wakes up again, everything has changed. She is now tied to a chair on the upper deck, exposed to the open sea. In front of her, Hyder is strapped into a harness, suspended above the water by thick belts and ropes. Tucker has set up a camera, adjusting angles carefully. He calls this a shoot. To him, this is not murder, it's art. Tucker begins talking. He cuts Hyder's hair slowly, almost lovingly. He explains his twisted philosophy. According to him, God does not live in the sky. God lives in the water. Sharks are gods. Sharks don't kill for pleasure, humans do. Humans hunt sharks, torture them, destroy oceans, and still call animals monsters. As he pours blood into the sea, shadows begin circling below. Sharks arrive. Tucker lowers Hyder into the water. She struggles in terror. The blood, the movement, the panic, everything triggers the sharks. They attack violently. Hyder's body is ripped apart in seconds. The horror is absolute. Tucker records every second, breathing heavily with excitement. Zephyr watches everything. She cannot scream. She cannot move. Her mind shatters. Afterward, Tucker drags Zephyr back below deck. Shaking, crying, she scratches her own name onto the wall, next to Hyder's. Then she notices something worse. Beneath layers of paint, dozens of other names are hidden. Tucker didn't start today. He has been doing this for years. Above the bed, shelves are filled with videotapes. Each tape is labeled. Each tape has a lock of hair attached. Proof of every kill. At night, Tucker returns with food. Zephyr, filled with rage now instead of fear, kicks the tray away and screams at him. She tells him he thinks he's a shark, but he's not. He's a worm, a parasite. Tucker snaps. Furious, he storms out. Zephyr uses the broken bucket to create a sharp weapon. When Tucker returns with an injection, she stabs him in the neck. She grabs the keys and escapes upstairs, limping because Tucker manages to inject her leg before collapsing. She radios for help. No response. She screams at a nearby party boat, but music drowns her voice. Tucker returns. Desperate, Zephyr throws his precious camera into the sea and jumps into the water, hoping to reach the other boat. The sedative kicks in again. She blacks out. She wakes up chained again. But now Zephyr understands Tucker's weakness. He needs to record the kills. Without a camera, he won't kill her. Tucker leaves to get a new camera. Meanwhile, Zephyr's friend checks CCTV footage near the beach and finally notices Tucker's truck parked near Zephyr's van. He recognizes the Tucker Experience logo and tracks the location. He reaches the boat and hears Zephyr screaming. He breaks inside and frees her. Their reunion is short-lived. Tucker returns and kills the man brutally, using a hook through his head. His assistant witnesses anything and finally understands who Tucker really is, but it's too late. Tucker sails toward a deserted island. He decides to kill one of them for his next recording. Zephyr's friend is lowered into the water. He survives at first by staying calm, just like Tucker once taught. Tucker then cuts him repeatedly, leaving him bleeding. Zephyr, desperate, does the unthinkable. She breaks her own thumb. When that fails, she bites it off. Free at last, she escapes, locks Tucker below deck, and tries to start the boat. Tucker escapes and shuts everything down. The final confrontation begins. Zephyr jumps into the ocean and swims toward an island where a wedding is happening. Blood trails behind her. Sharks circle. Tucker chases her in a smaller boat. She reaches land but is captured again. Tucker prepares his final show. A massive great white shark appears, the same species that attacked him as a child. Tucker, his end of Tucker, stays calm and comes to live in sweat. Face to face with the great white, she notices scars on its body. The shark is a survivor too, not of animals, but of humans. With renewed strength, Zephyr attacks Tucker, knocking him into the water. The shark takes him and kills him violently. Zephyr lights a flare. A passing boat sees it. She survives. The film ends with the truth Tucker never understood. Sharks are not the monsters. Humans are the real dangerous animals.